Welcome, comic lovers. Old Comic Guy coming back at you with the rest of my haul from the Utah trip. Again, I was there to do some business. Only needed to be there for a day. My wife went with me, so we added a couple of extra days. Just got back tonight. So the first one, I'm going to get up tonight. Pretty exhausted, I'll be honest. It was a long drive. So we'll go from there, right? Remember the end of this week, I have a live stream for the giveaway that I'm doing for my 100 plus subscriber, reaching that goal. And I'm going to try to do goal things as I move up. I just think that's the right thing to do. And I've seen other YouTubers do that, and I think that that's pretty cool. So I want to give back to the community that's actually helping me, and that's actually, commenting, and we're having these conversations through YouTube, and I think it's pretty cool. So that being said, let's get right into it. I went through St. George, so that was our plan, and we stayed the night there. And so St. George is a community kind of towards Vegas. I mean, they're not very far from Vegas, maybe an hour or two. But when you're going from Arizona, we have this thing called the Grand Canyon. We're known for the Grand Canyon State, which basically you can't cross. You have to go around. And so when we went up, we went around on the east side. When we came back, we were going to come back on the west side. So that's what we did. So we were in St. George, and I look up comic shops near me, and of course there's only one. It's called Comics Plus. And I go in, and there's the owner, and his daughter is little, and she's in like a playpen type thing. And there's a girl working the counter, a lady working the counter, and he was so helpful with me. In fact, I didn't even take all of his All-Star Squadron. Like I couldn't afford to. He had a lot. It's pretty cool. But let me show you what I did get. So I got some All-Star Comics. What is it, 68? 67. And this is part of the relaunch. I picked one up on this same trip, right? So I was already talking about this, but this is part of that relaunch. And this is the series that started Power Girl. Remember, Power Girl is a copy of Supergirl, not the other way around. I know because she's established as with the older team that a lot of people think she is the older character. She is not. And then I got 68. Now, I don't remember where the final issue is. I do not remember. But I don't think it's much, like 74, maybe 75. The series doesn't last long. Again, this is in the 70s, and it's the bring back of the Golden Age characters. Started about 55-ish, and then with the story in the modern times. So anything prior to that is a Golden Age book. After that, it's that kind of Bronze Age, bring in the new characters. So I picked those up. I also picked up some All-Star Squadron. So this is number 14. And the way this crossover event with the Justice League and the Justice Society kind of went is, I think it started in the Justice League book. Then we had this All-Star Squadron. Then there's another Justice League book. And then we have number 15 of All-Star Squadron. And then after that, we have Justice League again to finish it off, if I recall right. At least I think that I remember that's the way the story is going. This also has a Masters of the Universe preview. So this would be the first issue of the Masters of the Universe book. Is a pullout in here. And I've shared some stuff about pullouts before. It's not He-Man's first appearance in DC Universe. That actually happens in a DC Comics Presents. But it is the first where the pullout happens. And then I picked up issue 17. Just wonderful All-Star Squadron. And then I picked up issue 32. So this is, I think the first one is in issue 30, but this begins the story arc of the Freedom Fighters and introducing them from the Golden Age into. And again, Freedom Fighters was already over. That was a series that was running in the 70s. This is the 80s. But he doesn't want them to be forgotten. Roy doesn't. So he's doing a story arc with them. And it actually establishes them on Earth X, which will all get ruined in the Crisis. So it's kind of weird. But not only did I pick up one, I picked up a second one. Again, I go for everything that a store has, and I did not get all of them. So he had quite a few. There were some of these that I bought more of, some of them I bought less of. I picked up number 35. This is the end of that story arc. That 32 was, I think, the second issue in it. I think 31 is the first issue in the story arc, and then it ends in 35. And this is where the Red Bee dies. So, and I didn't just pick up one. I picked up 3 of them. Awesome. Or 4 of them total. So awesome goodness. Yeah, okay. So this could be because I'm exhausted. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. If you've been watching these, you know that I want to share my love of the All-Star Squadron. And I know I have issues 31, 33, and 34, and I have these 2, and I know I have extras. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add these, sweeten the pot, as it were. That's what I've heard people call it. So I'm going to sweeten the pot on the contest. So in my Father's Day video, I am giving away a print, a limited numbered print, Comic Tom exclusive, and of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I'm gonna still give that away. I'm gonna sweeten the pot on that. So if you win, you will also get this story arc. So not just these 2 books, the 31, the 33 and 34 that go in the middle, and 35. So what is that? That's 5 books. You will get all 5 books plus the print if you win the drawing. Again, you need to be a subscriber. You need to comment on my Father's Day comic chat video. You need to comment, what did I say? Whatever I said in the video. So watch that video, see what you need to say that, and get entered to win not just that print, but these 5 books also. So yeah. Okay, I think I'm just tired. Still doing it. It'll be awesome. And maybe I'll instill my love of comics, of All-Star Squadron, into you guys, or at least whoever wins it. So that'll be awesome. All right, let's continue on. So I found issue 43. Again, this is a retelling of Ted Knight, Starman's origin. 51. Mr. Mind and his crew are taking on the Justice Society, the Monster Society of Evil. And then we have the Crisis happening and that interaction. And this, of course, will take quite a few issues with 52. And then we got 53. Still the Crisis going on. Pretty awesome. 58. I'm going to be honest, I did try to buy everything he had. I just knew that I couldn't afford everything that he had. So, which one's this? 63. 63. The Origin of Robot Man, and then we have 66, The Origin of the Tarantula. And these are retellings of the origins. So their origins in the Golden Age, as I've mentioned, were short, 2-panel, 3-panel, maybe a page if they were lucky. And then that was it. So a lot of them, it was just a blurb saying where they, the beginnings. And then it just went right into the adventure in the Golden Age. So the retelling of the origins is just really awesome. And then I picked up All-Star Squadron Annual number 2. This is finishing off the Infinity Inc. crossover. And I got 2 of those. So pretty awesome. I did pick up some Infinity Inc. from them. So number 2. He had some Infinity Inc. And I didn't get all of them. Again, I was just kind of like, this is going to be too much. But maybe I'll make a trip back, or maybe I'll go to Vegas and then just swing over. I don't know. Infinity Inc. Special. This is the crossover with The Outsiders that they did, so it's pretty cool. And I think it was in an Outsiders Annual, not a special for The Outsiders. They had the Young All-Stars, number 14. And then I'm going to tell you some really cool stuff they had. All right. So, Legion of Superheroes, number 2. Here's the problem, or here's the issue. Legion of Superheroes didn't have a number 2. It continued from Superboy in the Legion of Superheroes, and that happened in the 200s, and it switched over. So it just began a renumbering. And the Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes first appeared in Adventure. So they were just renumbering. So they wouldn't actually have a regular number 1 until this one. But this is actually just a limited series. It's a 4-issue, I think it was 4 issues, and it was retelling the Legion of Superheroes stories. And this actually happens before, or right about the time that they're going to relaunch, or they're going to change the name of Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes to just Legion of Superheroes. Right about that time-ish, it changes, and this becomes a 4-issue miniseries that just reprints. But it's pretty cool, and I have number 1. I have never found all of them, but whenever I see them, I do grab them. They also had this, and nostalgia told me to pick it up, so I did. This is Legion of Superheroes number 301. This is actually one of the first, it's the first Legion book I picked up back when I was collecting years ago in the 80s, and just a pretty cool cover, and I got real fond memories of it. So it's my friend, and I see it and I pick it up. I am a Legion fan also. Again, these characters people didn't know about, right? So like the All-Star Squadron, people didn't really know about them. Legion Superheroes, people didn't really know about them. My wife was also looking, and she found this wonderful, playful little Audrey. This is issue 86. It's a nice 15 center, and it's little Audrey from TV. Maybe I'm dating myself. These cartoons were on TV. This is a Harvey book, so pretty cool. Along the time that we had Casper and those guys, right? Remember Casper and Wendy? Little Audrey? No. Some of you are old enough, you're just not admitting it. I know. She found a cool Archie. Archie's pretty cool. I have a bunch of Archie. I usually get them when I buy a collection from somewhere, and it's like a lot, and I'm like, oh, they have all these books. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't care about most of them, but they have Small Star Squadron, so I'll buy the box. And then I get it and it's full of Archie and there's like a small amount of All-Star Squadron. That's okay. I just add the Archies to my collection. Another cool thing she had to have, Ken says I blame her, maybe this show you'll remember, The Lucy Show. So The Lucy Show was on after I Love Lucy had ended, and Desi was not in this. Yeah, this was after that. But what was her name? Mertz. Oh man, now I can't think of their names. Dang it. Anyway, she was in it. But yeah, it was mostly Lucy, and Lucy's kids were in it. Like her real life children were in it. So Desi was in it. Technically it's Desi Jr., but you know. Pretty cool. Gold Key, where they were licensed and everything. So pretty awesome. And this is a number 2. They don't have a real good numbering on these. And then I picked up, and I'll be honest, I did this because of I just saw that they had started right before we were leaving. I saw that they'd gotten some the poster in, so they're kind of, if you did the Kickstarter for the new Gold Keys launching of Boris Karloff Mysteries, Tales of Mysteries, they're doing a poster. They did a poster for it. They are doing a hardbound book of the art and stuff. And I guess they put in the interview that they had with Sarah Karloff, and just all sorts of stuff is being added, had been added to that. They did that as a Kickstarter, so they're starting to see that stuff in. And so if you are on that, you get to see what they've gotten in, and they got some posters in. They're expecting some other stuff like every day, almost every day, and then they'll have everything in, and then they'll start shipping out. So it's still probably a month away or so before everything gets shipped off, but pretty cool. And then their plan is within 3 months, the first issue is being out, and of course stores have to order it. So whether or not stores do or don't, that's kind of up to the store. But it's pretty cool, so that's on my mind. I, of course, want to get all of those as they come out, and I think it's pretty cool. So, yeah, we picked up a Boris Karloff Tales of Mystery. Again, it's the weird numbering, but it also has a stamp that the newsstand put on it to know when to pull it off. So those stamps, they're sometimes done like a stamp like this one. In the previous collection, there was a number, I don't remember what the number was, on one of the 100 pages. Where was that? Oh, no, it's in that stack. That's why I can't see it. Not that one. That one. There we go. So this is from the previous video. They do this. That tells them when to pull. So this was that newsstand's code to tell them to pull it on a particular point. This is this newsstand's. Where is it? There it is. So telling them when to pull it. And because they would pull the comics. They got full credit for these. Comics were a win-win for newsstands. They paid for them, and then they would get reimbursed. So they were never really out any money. Anything that didn't sell, they would ship back, and they would get reimbursed. They would get a credit on their next order. And so gradually, it was a great opportunity. The problem was it wasn't necessarily great for the publishers. Like the people to sell them were willing to buy hundreds and hundreds of them because they were no risk. If they didn't sell, you were going to ship them back. Now, with the modernization where they have here, right? No UPC, you can't sell it. This is a direct edition. They can't send this back. They've agreed to buy just what they need. It's a way to keep stores from just overbuying and then shipping back, right? Was the idea with the direct edition. And that started, I want to say in the 70s. I don't know exactly when it started. I have some books from the 70s, so at least the 70s. But by early 80s, it was about 50-50. So about 50% were newsstands that would go into five and dime, would go go into actual newsstands, and usually like pharmacies would have newspapers and stuff like that. So it would go into those places, and then the other half were going to either specialty stores that had started around, and I think the earliest specialty store is in the 70s. And then they would go to like, what's some other ones? Like SS Kresge, the Five and Dimes. Who else? Was it Woolworths and stuff like that? So they would go to those sort of places. And those were direct editions. They couldn't ship them back. So they were really careful to buy just what they needed or what they thought they could move. Which wasn't really a problem. People were buying them. But yeah, this was to tell a newsstand when they could pull it off and ship it back. And sometimes when they shipped it back, they would have to tear here. So if you see a comic where the cover's torn here and the cover's missing, that's the only piece that the publisher required that they send back. And then the rest of the comic was usually just thrown away. But it made it easier to send back. So in the beginning, they wanted the whole book, so the whole book was tossed in there. But gradually, publishers wanted less and less to come back, so it would be just that. It would be just the front cover, or just the cover itself, and then the comic would be without a cover. So yeah, and then sometimes they just took their word for it and let them throw it away. So it just depends on the publisher and what was going on at the time. But pretty cool. All right, so that's it from my trip to Utah. I'll be coming at you with some more hauls. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, take a look at the Father's Day comic chat, in which case I'm going to do a drawing for a print, and because I decided to today, I'm going to sweeten the deal. So 5 All-Star Squadrons in a row, so you get the same story arc, and it's a wonderful place to start. And yeah, so that'll be out there for you guys. Remember that the live stream is coming this the end of this week, in which I'll announce the winner, and we'll get you your stuff sent out. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful day. Be good to each other.